Hello, everyone. I don't know why. Oh, I don't know why. It keeps changing my audio in here. Okay, here's the right microphone. Huzzah. And now I will make sure that my headset is also correct. It should be now. Kurt, would you like to say some words?
I'll say some words. I have the
Ooh,
ability, even the responsibility.
that actually sounds even better somehow. I don't know what I just did, but then you started speaking, and I was like, this sounds amazing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's all we can ask for. You
It,
just want to sound amazing.
I mean, you just naturally sound like I don't even understand. I changed the settings in Streamlabs and your voice came through so like more crystal clear than when you and I have been talking before we jumped on the call. I don't know why.
That's actually bizarre. There's no explanation in the world for that.
It doesn't make any sense, but I don't hate it. I'll tell you that. But yes, hello. How are you today?
I am well today. Today I went for a big long walk around the city,
Love it.
traveling along the river. There's many waterways in Ottawa, and you can travel along many of them
I
on
love
lovely
that.
paths, hither and thither.
I
So
love a
that is what
lovely
I was up to
path.
today. I
That's
know
great.
that someone among us did a bunch of streaming. Not of Among Us. I mean you. I just meant Amanda. Amanda do
I
stream. What'd you stream today, Amanda?
I did stream today. I streamed some Marvel's Midnight Suns for Marvel Monday, and it was quite fun. I haven't played Marvel's Midnight Suns since over a year. I found out. I looked at what my last live stream of it was because people were
Oh,
like, "Have you ever played this before?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, some of you will
yeah,
probably have not
yeah.
seen me play this because it was so long ago. There were many people that weren't in my community at that time that now are in my live streams." And I was like, I'm trying to think of like who was even there. And then I was like, some of those people just aren't even like they're still in the community, but they're not there as often. So for some people, they were like, this all feels like completely new. And I was like, it also feels a little new to me because it's been over a year. So how do I play again? Which is always fun. But it was really good. I don't know. Have you played Marvel's Midnight Suns?
No, I have never.
Do you like
Is
Slay
it
the
suns like the
Spire?
sun or sun like my son?
Suns like the sun in the sky.
Cool.
But it's been spelt both ways in the comics. But they're like a supernatural kind of group of heroes. Like they deal with like supernatural threats, brought together by Doctor Strange. But if you like Slay the Spire, it's like feels like that in terms of the combat. So it's all
I
card
do.
based. Yeah. So it's like one, it's Marvel, so that's all you know me. I'm already like all over that. But then the other thing is that the combat is just so fun, and I always forget. And it's weird because when the game came out, it did well, but it also like people just weren't. Some people just aren't here for that style of combat. You know what I mean? So the people that
I do.
love Marvel's Midnight Suns like love it, and then everyone else is just kind of like, it's not really my
Yeah.
thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. It's a very like specific kind of gameplay. But then you also get to walk around in between and you have like a whole home base and you get to talk to your party and like build your relationships with people. And then as you like level up your friendships with all the characters from the comic, you get like bonuses to combat because you're like bringing a team of people each time and they each have their own little deck that you combine together to make your main deck for playing and strategy. So,
Cool.
yeah. So you probably
Hello,
really like it
Rapala.
actually. I feel like it would be your kind of game in terms of this gameplay.
Does
Hello,
sound like
Paula.
it.
Hello,
Hello,
Jamie.
Rapala. Hello, Cherry.
Yes,
Hello,
hello.
Jamie.
How is
Hello to
everyone
all
today?
three of you. And
Hello.
anybody else who just hasn't said things in the chat but are here. We see you. I mean, we don't because you're not on video, but like metaphorically,
We see
you're
you
you're
in our
witness.
mind's eye.
Yeah. We've only got the one mind's eye though, so we can only look
So
at
we
one
got
of you
to.
at once. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Um,
like a half
I
half of a
didn't
third
even
eye.
think about if we were in the right spots, but we are because these are our sides that we
That
are
they
on.
are.
Yeah. So they don't change, I don't think. I guess we should probably also introduce ourselves for anyone that might be watching. I looked at actually
What a
our
plan.
first VOD on YouTube and it has 90 views. So I don't know if this will be the same. I don't know if it's because we had Dungeons and Dragons in the title, maybe. But maybe some of you
We
have
did tease.
returned. We did
Are you
tease.
back?
Did you
Tell us.
come
Are
for
you
the
back?
adventures
Did you
of
come back?
Presto and Twinkle because you needed to know
Is
what
it
happens
time?
next?
So do we, because we don't know yet.
We don't.
That's another difference between today's game and D&D. No one has planned anything. Not a soul.
We have no
Amanda, who the
idea
heck are
what will
you?
happen. I am Amanda. Hello. I am a YouTuber, streamer, cosplayer. Today I am playing a fairy who likes to fight. She's a fighter named Twinkle. And yeah, I am a person that is nerdy on the internet mostly. I'm also an actor. So you can find me as Amanda McKnight or Vampex13 pretty much everywhere online. And that's what I do. Kurt, who the heck are you?
My name's Kurt. I'm a role-playing game lover, player, designer. You can find the games that I make at a smoldering lighthouse.itch.io. I make a bunch of weird games where you tell stories with your friends, not unlike the game that we'll be playing today, which is called Venture. We are playing a game called Venture by Riley Rethel. And in Venture, we are both going to be taking on the roles of a character, a player character in the traditional D&D jargon, and we will also be playing everything else. Before we
True.
begin our game today, this is actually our second session, but you haven't missed much. Amanda and I are going to take a little minute to give you the play-by-play of who we are and where we're at. And we are doing this partly to remind you and partly to remind ourselves because we had some technical difficulties last week and were unable to stream. But here we are with the long-awaited part 2.
Yes. So we basically kind of just started off last time. So we've already made all of our characters. All of that work, though, has been done, and that's what we spent most of that time doing last time we were together. The game we were playing is a game called Venture, which does kind of have, I would say, a bit of a D&D feel to it, but it's not. With the difference, I would say, is that with D&D, obviously you have to have, as you touched upon, Kurt, like a dungeon master or a game master who runs everything for you. In this game, all the players kind of take on that responsibility together. So we're going to be kind of each taking turns playing NPCs, building the world alternatively, in and around playing our own characters that we have created for ourselves to portray. And it is not nearly as mathy or complex. The book is very intuitive. It was really easy to make our characters and also super fun to make these characters. So definitely would recommend it. And I did put the link in the chat for those who might be curious. And I'm also going to drop it on the YouTube side as well. Although our description also has the link to the game. So if you're watching over on YouTube, you can check it out there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't do that right now.
Not right now. Not right now.
You can do it later.
You can do it later.
Right now.
I'll put it in the
right now,
chat
stick
too
around.
for you on YouTube. If anyone's over there and wants it in chat, you got options.
So, today we are playing as Presto, a bard, and Twinkle, a fighter who is also a little fairy, which is something that I did not
Yes.
realize until after our session. I think the best way that we can get into this is to introduce our characters and then a little bit about the overarching plot. Amanda, would you like to introduce Twinkle first, or would you like me to introduce Presto first?
You can introduce Presto first, and then we can introduce Twinkle.
Sure.
Tell us about Presto.
Presto is a bard, a man with a dazzling smile and calloused hands from his stringed instruments. He wears exotic fabric. He has tattoos across his body, but he is a bit of a homebody. Hasn't traveled that far beyond the realm in which he was born. He's a storyteller. He is celebrated, his name known, but he's, not a great liar, which is not a great thing for a bard to not be able to do.
Yeah.
He leans into it. He practices the art of making others trust him, and an art of pleasure in whatever form that might mean. Magic comes from years of practice. Now, we are going to be playing to find out how his art interacts with the world around him, how much of himself is a performance, what he longs to create. Can he create it?
Can he?
And we're going to be exploring this through play. Can he? Finally, as a way of segueing to Twinkle, I'll say something that I know that connects our characters, which is One night after a fight, I was badly injured. Twinkle stayed by my. Oh no, this is Twinkle's story. I'm sorry. One night after a
It's
fight, Twinkle
okay.
was badly injured, and I stayed by Twinkle's side the whole time Twinkle was in recovery and sang
Yes.
her favorite songs to her. Since then, we've never brought this up, and no one else knows, but it's a memory I've always secretly cherished. That so says Twinkle. That Twinkle is
Yes.
secretly cherished.
That
We
Twinkle
don't
is
know how
secretly
Presto
cherished.
feels about it.
I don't know.
Now back over to Twinkletown. I think it's time to learn a bit more about our fairy du jour. Also,
Okay.
hi, Otto.
Yes. Hello, Otto. I am still having fun personally, so I will say yes to that. Yeah, so Twinkle is a fighter. She has messy curls and lithe arms. She has wrapped knuckles and wears gold thread. She is rash and charming, and she is not intimidating or precise. She carries an axe that she stole from her opponent, which I like to imagine is much larger than Twinkle because she is a fairy. Kurt and I talked about this at the end of the last session when I kind of explained that I was a fairy to him and was like, oh, is that? He was like, was that what was happening? And then I was like, I flew at one point, but I also don't know if people caught that I was a fairy. So I was like, it'll be more obvious next time because I'll wear my wings and everything. But one of the things that I was thinking when I chose this, there's so many good weapons to choose from in this game, is that this is an axe that she got off of a much larger opponent. So it is not really proportionate to Twinkle's size. However, she's pretty strong. She's much stronger than she looks. So yeah, that is what I'm working with right now. Why do I fight? I enjoy the thrill of the fight. What do I long for? Respect. I am playing to find out, am I willing or able to stop fighting? Where do you draw the line with regard to harm and killing? And how do you affect the people around you?
Oh, I wasn't excited until now, and now it's all back together.
Isn't it?
Oh, it's gonna
Isn't
be
this
good.
game like it's so cool because it's just like all these prompts that the game gives you. It really makes you have to like reflect on even just what like the fantasy world, like what are we really doing here, you know? So I feel like thematically this is going to be really rewarding, and also based on the character exploration elements, I think that this game are going to be really cool. And I mean, we only got a taste of it last time, but I definitely was already feeling it. It lends well to that. So yeah, I asked Kurt. You asked. I asked you, how did I hurt you in the past, whether on purpose or by accident? And you responded that as Presto, you took me as Twinkle to the cottage where your parents lived, passing through their hamlet. You felt a certain level of performance as Presto fall away in the familiar candlelight and company, but you seemed disengaged. But I seemed disengaged. I was distracted. I was off. I wasn't really present. And it seemed like I just didn't care as Twinkle about what was going on for Presto. And Presto has revealed in this little bit of character building, although we don't know how Twinkle feels about any of this, is that Presto keeps thinking about it. So kind of the opposite of what I said, where I'm like, this thing happened and like neither of us has really talked about it. And I don't know what we're thinking about it. This is a thing that is constantly on Presto's mind, I imagine. And also at the beginning of our last session, just when we gave ourselves a little intro to these characters, Twinkle kind of did that again to you, I think.
Feel like that happened, yeah.
It's like one
Feel
of my
like it did.
moves. So I imagine it's going to be. I imagine there's a lot that these two characters are going to have to talk about and figure out with each other, which will be interesting. So yeah.
Seems like it. All right, great.
All right. Yeah. I mean, is there anything else? I feel like that's pretty much it. We do have moves. We have some tips.
But we'll pull those out
We'll
as we
get
go,
those
I
out as
think.
we go. Yeah. But the tips are really
I
great.
think, yeah. The only other thing I think that we'll want to intro before we jump into things is just quick recap of what we're dealing with here.
Sure.
We have a quest which will feature everyday magic, floral meadows, an elegant cathedral, cobblestone streets, and wide rivers.
Exciting.
We met a desperate widow whose partner was a shrine, I guess, tender at this old shrine, which underwent a great catastrophe. The whole thing was enshrined, ensconced in a giant crystalline prism, everyone frozen inside in time and dead, as far as we know.
As far as
As
we
far as we
know,
know.
we're not sure if they're salvageable. They're frozen, is what we know. Are they
A
alive or are
young
they just
shrine
dead
tender.
forever?
We don't know. We know how distressed the youngest shrine tender was. How they ran back to town, this kid trying their best, convinced that it was their fault that this happened. Some small error in the ritual that they tripped up and caused this great infraction. Now we're to deal with the aftermath. We're looking to try and solve this through this old forgotten legend and cure this curse that might be part of something bigger.
Maybe.
The only other things that you folks need to know is that we met two characters last game on our trip to the city, outside of the area that I'm familiar with, already a little bit farther away than I usually am from home. We met Brand, a street preacher with one eye always to the heavens, off kilter and strange. He disappeared after preaching his teachings and left a branded symbol of a light post smoking fresh on the wood on the pulpit that he stood. We also encountered Alora, who's an upscale servant girl selling her noble employer's secrets. She beckoned us to meet her down by the Bluebird Inn for more information, and left only the scent of flowers of lilac in her wake. So, that is where we stopped off last time, and now we're here. Where do
we
you
are.
think we should open the curtain on our story? Straight to the Bluebeard Inn, or do we have other things to see first?
I
I
don't
know
know,
we're in
because
town because the cathedral has like monks of this order that we were going to confer with about this curse.
do we want to check in with the monks before we go to the tavern? Because I know there is like kind of a little bit of a time window because Alora said to meet her there later. So we
Yes,
could
smart.
go do something in the interim if we want, but we could also just like fast forward, say we just like chilled and just like skip ahead to the next bit.
Let's go to the cathedral. I think
All
then
right.
we'll get to enshrine some of these ideas that we've seen.
Yeah, I like that.
So we see Presto and Twinkle walking up these winding cobblestone streets. And all far down, the farther we get up this town, the more we can see of the oxbow rivers that move and ensconce this area across the land below. Higher and higher we walk until we reach this cathedral on the top of the hill. And it stands so grand before us, looming over us with this delicate masonry carved who knows how long ago into this sandstone. I think Presto's just going to stand there and take it all in. Never seen something like this before. Turns to Twinkle and says, "Can you believe this?"
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's not like this everywhere. Don't act like it's like this everywhere.
Well, maybe not everywhere, but in a lot of places, yeah, there's lots of. This is why I've been trying to tell you to come out with me and see everything. I mean, look how wonderful it is. Isn't it impressive?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
the grandest that I've seen, but it's pretty up there. I agree.
I mean, I've seen things. I've seen things like this. There's I've
Oh, yeah?
yeah, there's he doesn't even have anything. That's how bad a liar he is. Is that all he can do to try and seem less of a newborn in this world is to say, there's things. I'm going to take a token for a weak move. Lie unconvincingly. Anyway, not that I don't know where we are, but we. Do you know what the main entrance is? Because there's a lot of them here.
Oh, yeah, there are a lot of main entrances. I think it's the one that's on the far left. Why do they always look so similar at places like this? I think that's the one, though. It's kind of got, see that little symbol above? And there seems to be like a few runes when you look at it that maybe look like kind of like hands opening up like this.
Presto cranes in to look, and as he does that, there's a giant tong of the bell at the top of the tower, and a ringing immediately in our ears
Oh,
afterwards.
oh.
Oh, wow. That is loud.
I
Okay.
think for Twinkle, she's like as the tongs go by, it's like her entire like body is like shaking in the air.
Cartoon style, for sure.
That was very loud indeed. Ow.
Ow. Okay.
Wait, which way did
Um,
that sound like it was coming from? Was that the left? Because I think the bell is near the entrance, so we could also just follow that sound. Or if
let's
you
just
agree that that looks like the entrance, we could try that.
None of this looks like the entrance, then does it? And I think as Presto says this, I'm going to invoke the move Reveal Something Hidden for the
Okay,
Celestial.
all right.
And I think just before us, we see, we take one step and suddenly a spot that looked like it was just the edge of the wall. It's clear that there's an entrance here. And I think in tiny engraving above it on the stone, the capstone of this small arch, it says main entrance.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little passway.
So the way that
Oh,
this game also works that I feel like is cool. Sorry, just before you jump back into the story here,
no, please, please, yeah.
is we have sort of different aspects of the world that can manifest through different things. So there are certain signs and certain things you can do when they appear, and certain ways that they can even show up in recommended NPCs. So the other cool thing is that, like, these are elements of the world that are therefore like manifesting in literal things that we see and experience around us that are sensorial, that can be actual people. So that is another aspect of this game that I think is so cool. So when Kurt says he's using the Celestial, that's like one of the different aspects in the world, and they all kind of work in different ways, representing different things.
Perfect. Yeah, so this entrance not looms, but beckons quietly before us. What do you do next?
I think Twinkle is like a little bit in awe, and she's going to follow the sort of the beckoning and move closer towards it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think just as we get in through this hall, there's a large room that expands out in each direction before us, and we can see above us a big domed ceiling with mosaics all across it. But as your eyes travel up, you find them unexpectedly meeting a pair of eyes in stone as a gargoyle stares down at you. And those eyes blink. We are face to face with a gargoyle.
Oh. Okay.
Well, if it isn't another winged creature, much smaller and more fragile.
What are you trying to say about me,
I'm
huh?
saying you're small. And then he gets closer and fragile.
I'd like to destroy something instead of understanding it.
Oh, okay. A classic Twinkle move.
So I think from, honestly, from goodness knows where, I don't know if Twinkle's been carrying the axe the entire time, or if it just somehow
There's
seems to
everyday
appear.
magic in this
Yeah.
world, so your call.
But a giant axe that is, I'm going to say about maybe 10 times at least the size of Twinkle. Twinkle's pretty small, so this appears in her hand and she swings it with a level of rage that was previously really not present, I think, at all in Twinkle's demeanor. All of a sudden, she is very sensitive to her size, I think. She loses it. And she just swings this giant axe like muscles. She's surprisingly jacked in a way that is not overt, but there's a lot of lean muscle in Twinkle, and she just aims right for this gargoyle's face, I think, with her axe.
Okay. I think the gargoyle is going to put out a winged sort of talon hand and catch the axe. And it's not a good sound. It's a sound of metal on stone.
Ooh.
Yeah, stone gargoyle. And the gargoyle, I think I'm gonna use the move for the celestial give cryptic advice. And the gargoyle will just say, barriers cannot be broken with force, no matter how small you are. And maybe with that, the gargoyle will flap up, 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 and roost on the rafters at the top of this dome. And I think that's the moment you realize there are so many gargoyles up there.
I think,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
that's. Be careful who you pick fights with, Twinkle. That is a lot of gargoyles. We are vastly outnumbered. Smile and nod. And Presto is going to walk in and give a little wave up at the gargoyles. Smile and nod, Twinkle. This is not a place to pick fights with an entire flock of gargoyles here. Ah, yes, hello. And he waves up, waves up, waves up.
I'm going to ignore or scorn a social norm. And I'm going to look up at all the gargoyles. And I think Twinkle does feel a bit intimidated, obviously, by this. But she's saving face here. And so she just says, yeah? Yeah, you think? You think I'm scared? That's right. Run away.
Scared.
Run away. Bye now.
Okay. Okay, Twinkle.
He couldn't take the heat. If you can't take the heat, you gotta go up in the sky or something. That's something that people say. I heard it once.
Up in the sky, where the lightning comes from. Pretty hot up there, I think, Twinkle. Pretty hot with the divine thunderbolts.
Maybe.
What if... Okay. All right. Look,
Okay.
all we're here to do is get a
Yes.
little bit of information.
I
We don't need to
know.
fight anyone.
I'm not
All right.
trying to fight anyone. You heard what he said to me. I didn't want to fight anyone. Why did he have to bring up my size like that? Okay?
And
Don't you understand?
maybe at that moment is when Brand, our street preacher from earlier, is suddenly before us again.
Right.
One eye always to the heavens, one eye looking at us. So at this point, it looks like one's staring up the gargoyles and one's looking at us. And I think Brand says, ah, I see. The pair have come up on high, as have I, up on high, finding answers, you and I. What do you do? Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, thank you, Cherry. What do I do about that? I think I am going to ask, I'll spend a token to ask, hey, what's really going on here? Can you just tell us a little bit about, you know, who you are, who we should be talking to, who's in charge around here? Okay, we have some questions, some pretty important questions. We're kind of trying to just, maybe save like everyone here and beyond. So, could you help us out? Trying to remember that, she's not here to fight, even though there's a part of her that just kind of wants to punch any answers out of people, but she's like, no, no, no. This is not the time, Twinkle. Not again.
Your direct approach, I think, is going to do something here. I
Oh
think that
boy.
Brand opens his mouth to spout more cryptic nonsense. But instead, we're going to see the move manifest power in an unexpected way. I think as
Ah.
Brand opens his mouth and raises a gnarled, bony finger at you to say something off kilter once more, it's like his face suddenly goes blank. And his mouth speaks with a voice that doesn't sound quite his, certainly doesn't sound like the zealous mania that we'd been hearing moments ago. Brand says, "Come to my chambers. I sense there's something important. I must speak with you. Brand will guide you there."
Oh.
And then Brand snaps and turns like a toy soldier on a foot and starts walking down cross pews and turns.
I think
Ah,
Twinkle looks to Presto and says, maybe you were right about this whole, like, not needing to fight people thing. This seems to be going pretty good, I think. Should we?
we should. Yes,
Okay.
we certainly should. And what do we see as we walk through this place? What's going on in this cathedral?
I think the cathedral is, like, kind of eerily empty.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like it's almost a question of even who would have been creating the ringing. And as we walk through, there is an absence of bells at all that we can see. There are no other people here, it feels like. Or if they are here, where have they gone to? It's a lot of big doorways that seem to lead to nowhere. You know what I mean? Dark
Yeah.
shadows and not even quiet murmuring to fill these echoing hallways.
Yeah.
I
I
think we
think
passed through a
as
lot of past a lot of corridors that we just kind of peer down and there's like no one.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes out of the corner of our eyes, it seems like there's a flitting shadow that could be a person, and then when you turn to see it, there's no one there. But the cathedral is a beautiful building, and this moment of tranquility is somewhat juxtaposed against that sense of unease, that there's people here that shouldn't be, or that there are places that should have people and don't. And I think once we reach the end of a particular hall, we reach a much smaller, quainter stone building, a kind of an office of sorts. It's still of beautiful construction. There is a staircase that spirals around the center of the room and goes up and up to reach a second story that has books along walls with those ladders that follow, and a grand desk of mahogany wood that sits just before it, and someone is sitting there in the desk.
Who is it?
Brand stands and mechanically gestures towards this figure. Yeah, who is it? Do you want me to pick?
I think it is. I think it is a. Who do I want it to be? I think it's an older man with a long beard and a little pointed hat.
Great.
He has a cane at his side where he sits. And there's a little bit of like sadness, I think, behind his eyes.
I glance as Presto from Brand to the old man. Hi, he says. Are you available to speak regarding a matter most important? We have come some ways.
Yes, I did ask for you to be brought here to me. Thank you, Bran. You may be on your way.
And again, with that mechanical snappiness, Brand spins around on a heel and marches out as if being moved by forces that aren't his own.
I have heard that you have come looking for answers.
Yes, we have come looking for answers. That's why we're here. And I think Presto glances encouragingly at Twinkle. We both have come here in hopes to. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Presto says with a smile that looks very sympathetic, but practiced as well. I'm going to use the token and drop pretenses and speak frankly with someone.
Yeah.
Presto turns to the old man and says, there was an incident in Briar. And then proceeds to tell the tale of what happened before we came. The crystalline prison, the shrine tenders missing or trapped, the widow asking for aid, and some purported legend that could reverse it. By the time he's finished telling the story, he's gotten quite into it, animated, with gestures swept away in the tale that has barely happened yet. And that's what happened. Do you know anything? Please tell us you know something.
Yes.
What do you know?
Well, I could tell you what I know, but I don't know if it's the answer you're looking for. You seem to want to fix something that has been in motion for, well, over a millennia. You see, this was no freak accident. This was something that we have been trying to organize, to bring about for some time.
We?
Yes. Myself. And the Order. That is why they stationed me here, because they knew you would come, you see.
I don't know about that. This is just I think as Presto's talking, I'm gonna invoke the weak move, blunder into a bad situation totally unprepared. It slowly dawns on us that this is a small, secured chamber, and the door closed behind Brand as he left. As we glance upwards, those aren't just beautiful masonry carvings. There are two more gargoyles in this room.
And I think as we look at the man, we realize that his cane is not really a cane, but a staff.
It seems perhaps we've gone to the wrong place. Don't worry, we're happy to show ourselves out. Thank you so much for your time. We are so
You
great.
see, now that you're here, I simply must insist that you stay and join us. And I think the gargoyles kind of look to one another, preparing themselves, I have much more room in the roost, you see. And it would be nice to add you to our the forces. Even someone as small as you. And he gestures to Twinkle, who turns many shades of red. And seems to be cracking her knuckles. I know you said I'm not supposed to fight. I'm trying really hard right now. But is this a situation where I might be able to...
I've got this. And I'm going to do the weak move. Make a bad situation worse with your presence.
Great.
Presto is going to turn. Presto is going to turn to the old man and say, listen, nobody needs to jump to anything too... We can all just hold on. And I think as Presto gestures forward, that's enough to set off the old man, who fires a spell, and half my face turns to stone.
I think that is when Twinkle jumps into action. And going into just a blind, like, I don't even know if she knows what's happening. It happens so fast. Not only does she have this axe, she throws the axe right at the wizard's neck. And with her fists flying, she zooms right into one of the gargoyles, just giving it an uppercut coming down from below. And like I said, Twinkle might be small, but she is strong. She may not seem intimidating, but she knows how to fight. So I think, she jumps into it. What do the gargoyles do, or how do they respond to this?
I think the moment that you make a move for the old man, the gargoyles swoop down towards you. But as soon as that axe makes contact, I want to say that your blow... did you use the strong move that I'm looking at here?
I used a weak move to lose myself in a fight.
Okay, yeah.
But I could use a strong move to just kill this guy straight up, because I did aim for his neck.
It's your call what you do here.
So, I mean, I think right now, I mean, yeah, do you think that my axe makes, like, perfect contact? I feel like probably not for Twinkle, just because although she is powerful, I did say she's not precise. So I think maybe she aims for his neck and, like, gets him in the chest. And it's, like, messy, though. It's
maybe
like
we see the
everywhere.
same thing as before, sort of a mirror image. As you reach the chest, he, like, puts up a hand to block it by reflex. And just like that gargoyle's hand, we see, again, axe against flesh, but this time it's not stone. And we see tendon. The old man yowls, and the gargoyles descend towards us. What do you do?
I don't think that Twinkle is going to give up. I think she pushes harder into this man's hand. I think she, severs a hand in twain, pushing the axe, like, right through it, so that now it's bearing on his breast. And I think she is going to urge him to, to call the gargoyles off. Twinkle says, "But this doesn't have to go any further than this. If you call them off, if you sit down, like we said, we can have a conversation. Trust me." And she laughs kind of maniacally. "I don't want to do this." And it's very clear from her tone that she really wants nothing more than to do this.
There is no trust between the Order and a meddling mortal. snarls the old man with a power and gravity behind his voice that's unsettling. And he raises back his broken hand to cast a spell, magic sparking out of the palm, left and right.
I think that
Pulls it back.
she kills him.
Okay.
She gave him a
I think
warning, so.
she did. Yeah. Um, he
As he like
he
reaches
passes.
back, it's just like the axe, she just pushes even harder and goes like right into his chest, right into his heart before
Yeah.
he can
There's
cast.
pure there's fury on his face as he falls back, slumps over the desk, and it is at that moment that the gargoyles are almost all the way swept down in this great arcing dive, but they turn to dust. And dust passes across our faces
Oh
like so
no.
much sandy wind on the beach.
I didn't want to kill the
My face,
gargoyles.
my face is back to normal, but it's maybe at that moment you realize it wasn't just my face. A whole half of my body had turned to stone, and as I take a step, my foot, I think, is turned to dust, like the gargoyles were. Oh, Twinkle, that is not good.
Uh, uh, Twinkle's starting to kind of panic with that.
Okay,
I didn't think that would happen. Maybe we can. We got to get out of here. We got to get you somewhere quick.
it wasn't my hand, and so my trade is safe. We can find a prosthetic. We must go. Now, I think. And as we walk back through the cathedral, a hobble in my step now, I think there's just piles of dust. Dust all piled across the cathedral. I don't know what's going on here, Twinkle, but this is bigger than I thought that it was.
Well, yeah, but we'll be okay, right? Because, I mean, well, you're one of the smartest people I know, so if anyone can figure it out, it'll be us, right? And Twinkle's gonna try to reassure you of your strength. Uh, there's no one else that I could think of to handle something like this. Uh, oh, I actually feel really out of my depth right now. Um, is there anything that we should do before we go, or do you just want to go? I should have listened to you more back there.
It's okay. It's okay. We are alive, and that's more than I expected when it got bad. Twinkle, trust me. We'll we'll get through this. And I think at this point we're emerging from the cathedral, and we hear the bell once more as we exit. Dong, dong, dong. So loud and so close.
So I think from here we obviously need to go somewhere to get some, like to take kind of a little bit of a rest before we go to the tavern later. I think that Twinkle does have the ability to shapeshift into a larger being, but I don't
Okay.
think she likes to do it because I think she's actually weaker when she's not in her full fairy form, and that like a lot of her strength actually comes from being like a fae warrior. So when she's in
Mm.
a bigger form, she's actually kind of like
It's
weirdly a
diluted.
little more squishy. Yeah, it's like it's kind of spread out. So I think she does that though to carry you because she's still strong enough, obviously, to do that. Where should we go? I guess is the question.
I can see a world where we decide to go recover at the tavern that we have to meet at in hopes that maybe we can find a friendlier face here. The
Maybe.
inn, the Bluebird Inn. I think maybe as Presto's leaning against Twinkle as we're walking here, it becomes so apparent how like Twinkle has that scent of magic on her, that smell of ozone, like a lightning storm. I forgot. I forgot that you could do this. Thank you, I should say, Twinkle. How about we go to the inn? It seemed like a friendlier face, perhaps, and at least if we have a secret, then we have something we know.
That's true. Okay. I could take us there.
I can
And
still play. We could form an audience of sorts. What if we, can you
I
still do
see what
that
you're saying.
dance?
Oh no, you're gonna make me do the dance?
I want you to do the dance, Presto says, smiles
Oh,
beginning to tug at the edges of his lips.
okay. I guess I can. I guess you did lose a foot.
This
Okay,
isn't about that.
I'll
It's
dance.
just the best plan.
Okay, if you say it's the best plan, I believe you. I will dance. But just know that you owe me one for this. Because you know I don't like to dance. I'm not that kind of fairy. Normally.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Then just this once.
Okay.
Pixie's Waltz?
Pixie's Waltz.
All right. Then to the Bluebird Inn.
Lock. Gun show dance would be appropriate for Twinkle. This is true. Just flexing every which way. Oh my goodness.
Love
To
that.
the
Love that.
Bluebird Inn. All right.
At the inn, I imagine perhaps after all the rigmarole and the walk back down from the cathedral, it's beginning to get a little bit darker. And we see that glowing lamppost sigil here, there, and they start to become, I think, more prevalent as we pass through these more sort of underbelly areas of the city. And there's a moment as we reach the inn where we see from a certain angle what looks to be just a large couple of marks drawn on one pole, large couple of marks drawn on the stone, large couple of marks between, standing at just the right angle. It's like there's a giant lamppost sigil on the inn itself,
Right.
just if you look at it from the right angle. How much do you know about this symbol, Twinkle? Anything?
I've definitely seen it before. I'm pretty sure. Um, hmm. I don't know what it
Then
means
nothing.
though. No,
Okay.
not really. Sorry.
It's fine. I have a half-remembered idea from Bard's school, but I can't place it. Let's just go inside and...
Maybe it'll come
Yeah.
back to you once we're inside. Maybe something else will jog your memory.
There's certain things I wouldn't mind coming back to me. And you can hear a sort of stone thumping as that instantly cauterized stone wound at the bottom of the ankle just thunk
Bonk.
against the
Yeah.
pavement.
Oh boy.
Thunk. Inside the tavern, I think we see candlelight. I want to say we have to go down. Like the tavern is underneath the inn. There's a ground level sort of reception that is small. There's rooms on the second and third stories, but then in the tavern itself, you go down through cellar doors at street level. We see candles across, low tables. I think the kind that you sit at on the floor, not at a chair, but you sit right at the table on the floor. And there's wine and beer, stronger stuff too. Pickled mushrooms and foraged goods for sale behind the counter. stew that fills your nostrils as you walk into the room, rich and hearty, but with a scent of strange spice to it, a certain edge. We see an open stage and maybe a barkeep. Is it Elora from earlier, our upscale servant
Yes,
girl?
I think it is.
Okay. With a practiced smile, Presto sort of ignores that phantom absence at his foot
Mm-hmm.
and gives a winsome grin over to Elora. We're a little early, he says.
Yes, but I suppose you perhaps have worked up a thirst. Well, it looks like you've seen some things.
Perhaps we have. Who hasn't these days? Do you by chance have any bookings for a performer? We thought we might put on a show.
Ah, well, actually, I'm glad that you asked. I did have someone that was supposed to come by, well, about now, but they don't seem to have shown up, and I was getting a little worried they might have, cancelled on me, or perhaps simply flown the coop, as it were.
As it
So,
were,
I do have an opening, if you are looking for a stage.
you could say that we are. And
Mm.
I think we see Presto pull out. What does Presto play? I don't know if we ever established it. I think I said stringed instrument.
I think you said
Maybe he's got a
strings.
harp. Yeah, I think he's got a little harp.
All right, I
It's a
like that.
harper.
He's a harper.
Um, yeah. And then on stage, we both take our positions. Presto's going to turn to Twinkle and say, "You do remember the steps, don't you?"
I remember the steps.
And when I say steps, I mean. And he makes a gesture like a little loop-de-loop.
And she gives a little wink as she zips down into her standard size.
Sure. That is disconcerting. Every time. Okay. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3. And then a sort of waltz he begins to pluck out of the harp. And this beautiful song starts to play across the air. Each note careful, each note practiced, and there's a story that's sung with it. I think it's a story about a traveler, and there's a certain irony to it because Presto's never really been anywhere. It's a traveler from the Fey realms who meets the human land and gets in all kinds of trouble. Pixie. And it's a popular old song, but it's not played that much anymore because goodness knows there aren't that many Fey who are willing to perform it with a human bard in a human tavern. I think I'm going to use the strong move, win others over with your art, because I think the crowd initially is a little disinterested, mulling about, minding their own business with their stew and their pickled mushrooms.
But I think once the rhythm kind of gets going, it's also a combination of that, and I'm sure the litheness of Twinkle, who seems to almost dance on the notes as they hang in the air. She's partially sort of reenacting the story with her steps, and then another part of her just kind of like flying and floating around the room in rhythm with the song, kind of encouraging people to even get up and move. It's a kind of an infectious dance that by the end of it has the whole room up on their feet and kind of in applause as Twinkle returns to the stage after having sort of flown and bounced around them.
I think I have to do the weak move just for a moment, fall in love. It doesn't need to last long, but I think Presto's swept up so easily in fancies. And he looks at Twinkle with this kind of like admiration and says, "You should have been a dancer. You really should have been a dancer."
I think Twinkle blushes, but kind of as she lands, accidentally like comes down a little harder on the stage than she would like, and like breaks one of the floorboards and is like, oh, very embarrassing for her. But she tries to pretend like it's all cool, and in the end she just kind of like strikes a pose like, yeah, I'm real strong. That's what that was.
I think, irrespective of the inelegant landing, there is a moment that the crowd bursts into applause. And I think Presto can tell that it's not applause for him, really, but he bows anyway, good naturedly. Gestures, like gives a nod to Twinkle to do the same.
Twinkle takes a little bow but gestures towards Presto, uh,
Stop.
feeling more
Stop.
comfortable giving Presto the credit than taking any of it. I think herself, as she never really sees herself as that kind of fairy, as she says. She doesn't think that she's a dancer, but she tries to take the compliment in stride and like does kind of like a little half curtsy gesture, awkward thing, and then immediately leaves the stage. You remember, you owe me for that. You owe me.
I don't mind owing a friend a favor, says Presto, still with that smile. I think maybe at this point, we are, as we like come off of the stage and sit down at one of the low tables, we are approached. Do you think it's
I think
Laura or
Alora
someone
has
else?
come over and definitely has taken notice of both of us, but seems to have her eye on Presto for sure. She is very impressed with the performance, and I think she comes to bring us some ale, which she brings in a little thimble for Twinkle. Well, that was far better than what I had booked, anyways, so it is quite my pleasure that you happened to come to the tavern early, I suppose.
We do our best. Now, I can't help but hear this is the kind of place where one finds information. And I'll tell you, Elora, he says, with a kind of practiced landing on that name. We could use some direction. At this point,
Well,
I think
I
Press.
would be happy to guide you if you'd like to come to the back, as I suggested earlier today. It is about that hour, and Alora reaches across to touch Presto's hand.
He'll take it. Oh, it's so easy. It's so easy to get him to take it. And he stands.
I think Twinkle's just kind of looking back and forth and is like, oh boy. She sips her ale, but is very content to stay where she is. Uh,
Now there's a question, right? Which is, does something happen off screen,
Does something happen
or
off
do we just see
screen?
a private conversation?
I don't know. What would you like to happen in this moment in the story?
I think I think it feels truest to form if there is like an unknown, like something or other transpires, and
Something
whatever it
happens.
is, we as the
Cut
audience aren't
to
privy to it.
little time skip. Is that what you're saying?
Little time skip.
Little time
Yeah, but
skip.
it's not that long. Long
It's
enough to
not
get into
that
trouble,
long.
not long enough to raise any concerns.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think maybe someone like a barback comes up to Twinkle and says, "Excuse me, miss, You need it in the back.
Me?
Need it in the back? Some kind of...
Okay.
Oh,
And she
all
pulls
right.
herself up and flies to the back. Twinkle's arms kind of drag in front of her. She's pretty intoxicated from drinking a thimble full of beer. She slammed it, so she's in her
Right,
cups for sure.
right.
And she's has the axe again, and she's just kind of dragging it on the floor as she flies over there. That's the back room.
In the back room, I think we see a kitchen with a hearth that is kept roaring and things
Sounds,
being made, but it's also, I think, the
sounds
lodging.
cozy. Right.
As often in like a home like this, the kitchen would also be where you sleep because that's where the fuel's already being burnt, so
I'll bet it
just makes sense.
is. I'll bet it is.
Sitting at the table, we see Presto and Alora, and I think there's a deck of oracular cards as well, like a tarot, but I don't think it's actually a tarot deck. It's some equivalent. Elora raises lidded eyes and looks up at you and says, "Ah, good. Now you're both here then. I get the impression that you two are in a little bit over your heads, aren't you?"
Oh, yeah, I'd say we're in over our heads. He's got. I fought a wizard or
Twinkle,
something.
oh no, Twinkle, how much did you have of the thimble? Says
I
Presto, running hands through his hair distressedly.
don't worry. Twinkle just grabs the top two tufts of Presto's hair because she's in her little form. I had the whole thimble. It was so good. I'll dance
Presto's
all
hair
day
smells
if
like
I could have
lilacs.
ale like that. Mwah! It was beautiful. And she goes up and kisses Alora on the forehead in thanks.
I think, in spite of herself, Elora does laugh, and there's a genuine smile that crosses her face. Um, she says, "All right, maybe you won't both be of great help today then, but I have a thought, and we don't have time for me to tell you later."
Wow. A
Um,
thought.
a thought, says Elora with the big wide eyes, like, yes, a thought.
Wow. And this is going to completely just knock Twinkle on her butt, that idea. She just like collapses down onto a table with the axe at her side with a big thud. Wow. Now she's completely
Um,
enraptured.
Elora is going to take a nearby napkin and like pull it over you so that you're kind of tucked in on the
That's cute.
table.
Oh my goodness. I
Maybe
love
this
it.
is more of a bedtime story then, isn't it?
Love a bedtime story.
Once upon a time, there was an old order of monks.
Okay.
They became two orders of monks. Because what happens when one group believes something different is that they become two. And now they were two. One the keepers, one the takers of the shrines. The keepers spent 1,000 years protecting. And as she speaks, you can almost see these images, shadows on the wall cast by the candlelight, begin to manifest into a puppet play, shadow puppets flickering along the walls.
I love a
The
puppet
shrine
play.
keepers puppet play. The shrine keepers had a place to keep, and they wished for the powers to remain there, sealed,
The powers.
safe. You understand, Twinkle?
Uh-huh.
Sealed.
Sealed, safe,
The shrine
cozy.
takers.
Uh-huh.
Twinkle, please.
What? I'm listening.
We'll only hear this once.
Okay, I'm listening.
The shrine takers waited and waited and waited. And then one day, they began to come in, and one by one, assume positions of power among the keepers. Do you understand what I mean, Twinkle? It's a flick of the wrist. It's the right walk. It's the right dress at the right place. And as she says this, it's so easy for her to do a little sleight of hand. The candle that's burning is now a different color.
Ooh.
The card on the table that once showed a cathedral now shows an open grave.
Oh.
All it took were a couple of people in the right place at the right time. And then there was enough to topple the keepers, to move. And now they're ready. Twinkle, have you ever been? I think she's gonna turn, and we see through like a basement tavern window, up
Yeah.
and up and up,
Yeah.
is the far mountain. The
Okay.
Lone Mountain, we'll call it.
Okay.
The Lone
Yeah,
Mountain,
yeah.
arcing above the city. Tell me, could such a small thing go up so high?
Yeah, I can fly that high.
Higher than you've ever flown, I think.
Maybe.
Higher still.
Pretty high. But I can do it.
She nods. Like you
got-
might nod to a child who says they're not tired.
Yeah. I got strong wings.
I imagine you do. 2 days hence, in the tallest room, in the oldest light tower, where they signaled things a long time ago, you'll find the last shrine keeper, a true one, not yet taken, and you'll find those that would take him away. Do you understand?
Yes. Sorry, I had to sneeze.
Long
Yeah.
day. I understand.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Laura,
oh?
I think she stands. And now, as one last gesture, I think we see, now that she's standing, some element of the bracelet that she wears on her wrist hangs in a different way, and that candle that we've seen flickering and making all these shapes now casts a shadow like a lantern, perfectly beneath the window, perfectly beneath the mountain, above which, far distance, if only it were brighter, you might see a single tower protruding into the sky. Sleep, Twinkle, says Alora. And I think over you, you might feel a drowsiness, not just from the drink, but from maybe something else.
Thank you, Ricardo. I think Twinkle just like immediately passes out. She's just like, how? Twinkle has a surprisingly loud snore, I feel like, for a fairy.
I believe it. I think that can only be right.
That was fake, right? That sounded real. It was a real sneeze.
Achoo.
I had to sneeze for real. But I
Sometimes
used
you
it.
have to.
Sometimes you just got to use it. Also, Otto, thank you for sharing dice rolling overlay. Well, there's no dice in this game, but it's always good to have. You can share it in the Discord, though, because you can post links there. So if you want to share it in the Liza will enjoy, I'm sure there will be other games where it could come in handy.
I'm starting to think, Alora, that we might be in over our heads. Are you a shrine keeper?
I was once, but clearly those days are far behind me. However, I believe in your quest. I believe in it so much that, well, I think you might find what you're looking for upstairs. There's spare room that you and Twinkle can retire to if you so choose. And, well, I have eyes everywhere, my dear. And then I did hear about what happened earlier. I mean, clearly you couldn't hide from me what had happened. It was painted all over your face the moment you both walked in.
As it would be. What do you want, Elora? You may have eyes everywhere, but what do you want?
Well, I suppose what I want is for you to tell me when you do return from this quest. What it is exactly that you find.
That's it?
Yes. You see, while I have eyes everywhere, that is because I enjoy knowing the going-ons of everyone here. This might be a tavern, but it's not how I really make my funds, if you know what I mean. And there is much that I could hold if I were to know exactly what the last keeper was doing up there, and perhaps what exactly it is that you find out about this ongoing mystery. I may have my knowledge, but there's a lot I don't know.
Right. A secret cellar. I understand. We can do that.
Good.
I understand that some eyes don't reach as far as one might want. And some places are too far. I have
Unlike
a request.
Twinkle here, I don't have wings, so it's been impossible for me to get up there. So I'm more than happy to help you both, as long as you'll help me. I don't see why we can't mutually benefit.
I think we already have, says Presto, and there's a flicker of something between them.
Spicy.
And I know you don't have eyes everywhere.
No.
Now, perhaps I suspect you have other things to attend to. If you don't see us in 3 days hence, says Presto, now scooping up Twinkle in a kind of cupped two hands, then I don't think you'll see us at all. But we'll try.
Good. Well, hopefully what I've left for you will help. And I will see you soon again.
I'd like that. And we see Presto walk out of the room, prosthetic, where his stone ankle ends.
And I think we flash forward to maybe like the next morning, the next day.
Yeah,
Are we like
for
already
sure.
kind of on
Yeah,
our
yeah.
way? Have we left the
I think
tavern?
I think we're on our way.
Yeah,
Maybe we're in the foothills
maybe.
of this pass.
Uh,
How is Twinkle doing?
Not great. I think Twinkle's kind of hungover, and she's a little bit grumpy. But I think that she forgets that she promised to like fly up a mountain. That's like not like I am imagining that Presto explained this to her in the morning, and she was like, why would I ever say that I would do that? I don't understand. I hate Flying. I only do it because I have to do it. If I could walk everywhere, I would love to walk it, but it takes so long. Flying up that high is going to be so hard. Ugh. Eh. Can't we just, like, kill someone instead? Are you sure there's not another way?
Maybe we can kill someone when we get up there, Twinkle. We just need to get up
Okay.
there first.
As long as I can kill someone, I guess I could do it. As long as you promise. Can I kill someone later?
I don't promise, says Presto, flabbergasted.
So I think she's kind of grumpy by the time we're like part way up the mountain, for sure.
I think there's a
Maybe we're
like
both
a
grumpy.
pass here.
How's Presto feeling
I
after last
imagine
night? How's he doing?
Presto has had better and worse mornings. I think in some ways Presto's doing great, and I think in other ways Presto is still processing everything from yesterday.
Yeah.
I think we're approaching a bridge over sort of a canyon pass that would lead us deeper into the mountain. And I think it's manned perhaps by the authority, by some kind of figure.
I think it is perhaps a. I think we got some people here who maybe there's a certain tariff we're supposed to pay or some kind of boon that we have to pay to pass through the passage, and it's their job to collect on everyone.
Yeah.
And perhaps
do we think this
to
is
authorize our passageway. Do we have the proper documentation?
I want to say that this is a bridge keeper, but I think it's an actual like this isn't
Sanctioned?
employed. Yeah, this
Yeah.
isn't like I'm gonna stop you. It's more
Yeah.
like you require your paperwork to pass by.
Is it
So
just
there
like
is a
a
bespectacled
bureaucratic
troll.
troll? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. I think within the stone,
Gotta
I
pay
want
the
to say
tax
there's
troll.
like a stone room that you have to pass through before you continue onto the bridge beyond over the really like deep crevasse. We see a desk behind which is a troll who looks so huge compared to this desk. So huge. And he's got tiny little spectacles on, little half moon spectacles. Papers, please, if you're going up mount. What's the mountain called?
I like the Lonely Mountain. Isn't that what Alora called it last
I
night?
think yeah, the lone mountain,
The
yeah.
Lone Mountain.
Lonely Mountain, yeah, Lone Mountain.
The Lonely
If you're
Mountain
going
is
up
from Lord of the
Lone
Rings.
from Lord of the Hobbit, yeah, yeah. But Lone Mountain isn't, so
Yeah,
great.
that checks out.
If you're going up Lone Mountain, you need your papers, says the troll.
Kind of.
What's that face then? You got something to say, little one?
Oh, he
Calm
just
down,
called me
calm.
a little.
Don't. Okay, just calm down. Hi there. Hi, says Presto. Painted smile on as always. We're simply looking to pass through. What exactly do you require?
Well, that's fine. You just need your papers. And the proper fee, of course, depending on your reason for passage. Why are you going up the Lone Mountain?
Quest. It's a quest
A quest
of sorts.
of
Yes.
sorts?
Yeah, of sorts. Yes. Yeah.
What is the primary function of your quest? Is it treasure, knowledge, fame and fortune?
Knowledge. Presto looks to Twinkle. Knowledge. And I mean, it's also to prevent a kind of cataclysmic event that destroyed some folks in our homeland. We'd like to sort of undo that if possible.
All right. I don't think that's covered in any of the paperwork that I have, saving your home. That sounds oddly specific. I don't know if you're actually permitted to do that in these lands, because you see, these are our lands, and so the only one that can save them is us, actually. We don't like other people coming in from other lands to save our lands. This is our land.
It's not your land.
Why aren't
Okay,
we saving it? Why didn't you call Me, I'm a troll. What, you think I can't save things because I'm a troll? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, is that an option? Would you join us up the mountain?
Well, if you filed the right paperwork, I would have joined you up the mountain, but clearly you don't have the correct forms for that. I'm not even sure if you're allowed to be here right now, actually. I might have to call my supervisor. And, the troll picks up a rock and seems to be, patting it down on the bridge beside him. Maybe I should be calling him. He might come up from below the bridge.
Okay, could you just give me a quick second? I'm just going to talk to my sort of co-conspirator here, if you will.
You
Twinkle,
alright? Give you a minute.
Twinkle, do you have, like paperwork? Do you keep paperwork?
I don't know.
What do you mean, no?
I don't have
They're
paperwork.
Like, they have papers.
What?
They have
We don't
dances
have...
and papers.
That's not us. We don't have papers. You're thinking of a
Is that not
totally
you?
different... No, we don't have papers. That's like a kind of a pixie thing. That's very tricksy. And actually, the fact that you would think that I would have papers, I'm not even a dancing fairy normally. I only dance for you when you ask. And when you play that song that I like. But, well, I could kill him. Maybe I could kill him. Maybe we just kill him and then we go up the mountain.
Maybe that didn't go so well last time. Sorry, we'll just be one more second. Could we... What is a paperwork?
Well, maybe you could pretend that you have paperwork. Maybe you could, like, make him think you have paperwork with a song. Like, a song is kind of like a contract when you think about it.
Oh, I have papers with songs on them.
Well, there you go. That's
paper.
paperwork.
And it's my work.
It's your work, and it's on paper. Try that. See if he likes that. And if it doesn't work, I'll just kill him. Easy.
Okay.
I'll just sharpen the axe just in case. And and Twinkle goes behind you and like tries to quietly sharpen the axe while this is all happening. I don't think she's very quiet.
Papers that are my work. I do have papers that are my work.
Okay.
Right here. So this this here is one of my scores of one of the pieces that I play. I'm a harper, and I think we see fishing around in his rucksack. He pulls out the harp. I'm a harper, and so this is a paper, and it's my work. I play
your
this
work. You'll play the harp. So you gonna play me a song, then?
I guess I'll spend a token and win others over with my art. Yes. What kind of songs do you like?
Well, I like songs that make me feel important, that make me feel like I'm not just a cog in a machine. I mean, I live in a great territory, but does anyone know me? Does anyone talk about, me? You probably don't even know my name, do you?
Oh, and as this is happening, I think Presto is starting to write down as much as he can see.
It's on my
about
badge.
this,
But no one ever says it to me. No one even refers to me by my name. It's always, Troll Tim this. What are you looking at?
Rawl.
Oi, Tim. Nobody's talking about your name.
Get out of here! He's not even on shift
Tim.
right now. He just comes to yell at me. Yes.
Tim. Tim
Yeah.
is your name.
Timothy.
And you can see.
Thank
Quill
you,
working.
Timothy.
Would you prefer understood, of course, Timothy, keeper of the bridge?
That's me.
And what are some of your feats?
Why you always
that
gotta
you
bring
have-
that up? Why you always gotta ask about my feats? Why isn't enough? Why do you even want to see my feats, mate? That's a little weird, don't you think? Also,
No.
I don't know why everyone
When-
needs to know about that. Look, I make a lot of money for this bridge, and that's the most important thing you need to know about me.
Okay. Great. Okay. Um, all right. I can play a song about that. And then I think Presto's gonna lean in to Twinkle and say, if this goes badly, you fly. Don't fight. Just fly. Just fly. Okay.
You could kill him though, if you want.
Right.
I'll fly, and then I'll kill him while I fly up.
Okay. Maybe just okay. Fine. All right. And then we see Presto strum on his harp, and in a clear voice that rings out over the hills. Do I actually sing some? I'll try. Whatever. But understand it's
I
better
think
than whatever I do.
he pulls out like it just looks like a gem, but it looks really heavy, and it starts to glow red.
What, Timothy? May I ask what you have there?
Oh, this? Oh, this is nothing. This is just my murdering stone for anyone that doesn't have the fee of the paperwork. Just in case. I'm not saying I'm gonna use it on you, but, you know, just in case. You aren't really, I mean, you see your work, I see your harp, but I haven't heard you play anything, so I'm just, you know, if you're not really up to snuff.
I mean, it's giving me a bit of stage fright. I should be honest with you. It is like seeing that gem is a little unnerving. Could
Right.
you just?
Well, if you were a professional, I would think that you'd be able to perform in all kinds of stressful situations, so I think I gotta keep it, you know, for my own safety. Or what if your harp is really like some kind of weapon? Eh? You know?
Right. I mean, it's not. I will say that it is a harp, and
That's
he
great.
does a little strum. Okay, all right. I suppose you can just keep that up there now. Okay.
Whenever you're ready. No pressure.
Okay. All right. Timothy, Timothy, keeper of bridge. Everyone else looks as small as a midge. Sits at his posts and he makes lots of money. No one will praise him, they think that it's funny. But Timothy, Timothy, keeper of bridge. Done with the chorus, now time for the bridge. Has a large gem and can use it to kill me. I'd better play and treat him for a billing. This goes on for like 5 more verses. As each verse goes on, Presto is looking increasingly like red in the face and sweaty.
I think
And as the
that there
last
is a
note,
lot of
yeah.
range in terms of Timothy's reaction, but overall, Timothy gets a little bit moved, I think. And you start to see, I think he starts to lower the gem, and tears appear in his eyes. For once in his life, he really feels like he has all the power. And I think as someone that's kind of been a bureaucratic middleman, he's never really been made to feel that way. He's always dealing with his supervisor coming over, giving him flack. Even though he does a good job, actually, he's a pretty hard worker, and he does make a lot of money for the bridge. So I think he feels kind of seen by your song. I think it's you're getting some good vibes. He puts the stone away, even, I'm gonna say, by like the 4th verse. I think the question is, how do you finish it?
appreciate him. It's just like a little flourish that leads up the harp and like a what a great guy type ending.
Right.
Um,
I think he, uh, you know, raises his hands and goes to applaud. And that is when Twinkle takes this as a threatening gesture.
oh no.
His hands are very large, and something about the excitement in his face makes her feel as though this is her moment to shine. She's not really fully sure if this has worked. She can see that he's kind of crying, and she doesn't know if that's good or bad artistically. So I think She is not going to kill him, but she is going to put herself between you and Timothy to protect you from the violence that may ensue here. Fortunately, she is a fairy, so I spend a token to do that. I don't even know if Timothy would really notice her. I don't think she has her axe at this point. I think she has put that away.
Fair
So
enough.
I think she stands like kind of tough in front of you.
All good, Mr. Timothy. Is that sufficient? May we proceed up the mountain now, please?
Yeah, you could proceed up the mountain. I don't see why not. Well done. I don't know why you look like you... Are you alright?
Oh, I might need a new pair of undergarments, but outside of that, it has been a lovely time performing for you, and I am so grateful that you gave us the opportunity to do so. Twinkle, if you would, please, we have some business to attend to up the mountain.
Right, well, just leave the feet and then you can be on your way. No paperwork needed.
How much is the fee?
Well, it's only 100 gold. Normal pass. Well,
That is
discounted passage, really, for you.
So much money, I think. I'm pretty sure that's so much money. Presto's gonna look at Twinkle with eyes wide, saying, "What do we do?" It's just 100 gold, then, isn't it? Come on home.
Twinkle shrugs and just tries to fly right through his head. She makes herself like a little bullet. I don't even think that Timothy really has taken much notice of Twinkle at this point. So it might be kind of like a sneak attack. So I think she's just going to kill him.
Wow. Well, one of his moves is block a path forward. So I think he does block your path forward. But what
Ow.
are you... How's... Like, with... Like, his head sort of is in position. But if you're spending a token to kill him...
I'm spending a
You
token
do.
to kill him. So I think maybe
Okay.
he notices last minute that Twinkle's about to rush towards
Yeah.
him and tries
I
to
think he's-
like...
Yeah,
stop
he
it.
gets big, blocks the exit, but it's... Like, that just makes him a bigger target, I think.
Yeah, and then I think she just goes like right between his eyes. It's pretty quick, but Twinkle's kind of covered in like guts after, like brain matter, and she's pretty gross after. And
I do think as he falls, there's a huge, like, cavernous thud that shakes the bridge itself. And we do suddenly now, he has fallen forward. You struck him in the between the eyes, and then he fell. This huge, towering troll fell forward, and on his back, between his shoulder blades, we see a tattoo of a broken lantern. The takers. Well, I guess we're lucky we didn't pay him 100 gold then, if he...
we should probably go, I think.
I think we should go right now,
Yeah,
actually.
let's go right
Yes,
now.
we should go right now. And so we run across the bridge, and I feel like it's only by the time we've already sort of gone through a narrow pass, too narrow for a troll, that we start to hear, shouts from behind us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was more excitement than I expected at this time of day, but we are through. That's a long climb ahead. And I think the camera pans up and up and up, and we see a winding path along the edge of the mountain. Cobblestone path, I want to say, just to pull in our theme. Someone cared about this path once.
Once, but maybe it's been a while. I don't think
Yes,
the path
it's-
is in great a great state. You know, honestly, for what they charge to go up, you'd think they'd maintain the path a little better, I think. But it's kind of like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
it's overgrown in spots, but there are parts of it that are traversable, I think.
Yeah.
Do we walk up the path? Like, what's our process like getting up?
I think we do, because I think that this pass, there might be like a village partway up that has some kind of arrangement, like they're permitted to go across the bridge or whatever, because I think this would be a great time to pull in the mundane, as one of their moves is show how the party's actions have wider consequences. I think as we approach, we're going up this mountain, this lone mountain, and there's a small settlement. I want to say sort of structures built into the cliffside, just a couple of small rock-based dwellings that are sort of chiseled away. Folks who harvest here or forage. I want to say that they have cooler climate clothing
Yeah.
as we're farther up now. Um, I think we see maybe like a matron-aged person look at us with shock to see us coming up this path.
Well, yeah. Do you think that Twinkle's still covered in like guts? Like, have we had an opportunity to?
Is Twinkle still covered in guts?
I think so. I don't know if we've washed. Where would we do that? Is there like any
I mean,
natural
there
water?
could have been a stream, a mountain
Okay.
gully. So if you
So,
want Twinkle to have washed, then Twinkle could have.
okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah, I think then Twinkle is probably clean. I'm gonna say that we did wash then, if there's a spot.
but she's still very surprised, and I think that's partly because almost no one
Comes
comes
up
this
here.
way.
Yeah.
Hail there, travelers. What seek you here?
We're just making our way up the Lone Mountain.
Ah, well, it's been ages since anyone came up this way. Uh, Come in. You must be exhausted. You're halfway up a mountain.
And she gestures inside, and I think within this simple dwelling hewn into the cave, we see maybe a couple of like goats, mountain goats, used for dairy, and some simple bedding and stuff.
I can't remember the last time we had someone come up this way.
Well, not since the keeper went up last time, I suppose. What are you doing here? How did you cross the path? She says, suddenly realizing how strange it is that you've paid an exorbitant toll and you look like a couple of bedraggled street musicians.
Um, well, do people not usually cross the path? What usually happens, would you say? Like, does it usually get kind of violent? Would you say?
There's
Just
we're
curious.
beginning to see like a strange expression on her face. We haven't been able to cross that path in ages, not since the authority was set up. How? And then I think we see a small smile spread across her face. Did you end them? Did you end the Keepers of the Pass?
Um, Presto, what would you say we did a while ago?
I suppose I would say it was more of an ending of one of the Keepers up the Pass.
Yeah, one of them. We
One of
may
them
have ended them.
may have been killed. We
May have
we
died.
tried not to.
Well,
but
we
there
tried
was-
for a moment. Yeah,
We tried.
we tried for a moment.
Yes. I
Unfortunately,
tried quite a bit, actually, if you
You
wouldn't
tried a lot.
mind.
Yeah, you
I
tried a
did
lot.
try a lot. I
I
tried.
tried.
I think that's not quite how I would phrase it. Twinkle, says Presto, looking at you like, mm.
I tried in my own way, I think. Well,
But
yeah,
don't worry.
so
It's not that they didn't think we were coming here or anything. We're not like bringing anything upon your village.
I hope not.
Uh,
Oh gosh, I didn't think about that. No, but I don't
no,
think
then
they
I
knew
think
what happened. It probably looked like a freak accident, to be honest with you. And if you wanted, I could take out the rest of them if you want on my way back down, really.
hold, hold, travelers. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're grateful. That's one less obstacle between us and the outside world. It has been hard here lately. We haven't even seen the keeper in God's know how long.
What's the keeper like?
The keeper?
Yeah.
Well, he was one of our own,
Oh,
as is the tradition. When our children come of a certain age, one is chosen to be the next shrine keeper. We're so very proud. But the order has not passed through here in many moons, and we begin to worry. Why have none come? We are no outpost of sorts, simply a stop along the way, but it's like the whole line's gone dead. We've seen no beacons lit. What news have you of the outside world? What does that look upon your face?
well, there's some people that are frozen, and there's kind of like maybe a dark energy that's like affecting areas. So we're trying to stop it. And we think the keeper might know some things about it. But it's not looking great, to be honest with you. I'm not usually
I
the one that's
think
good at words, so
no, let me just I can let me explain. And I think Presto goes through the whole story now for the second time in so many days about what happened, what we're trying to accomplish, what like we're responding to, everything. And I'm gonna spend a token, I think, maybe. No, you know what? I'm gonna gain a token because I
ah,
think as Presto goes through this whole thing, there begins to be this insecurity gnawing in his chest. A need for approval. I need to for this story not to be just a couple of foolish people making mistakes. And he says, I'm sorry, I've been speaking forever. You must you must think us fools. Go on, tell me. What do you really think of me?
I think that you're struggling in your own way. Just as we have been dealing with being trapped here, you are trapped within your own mind. I think both of you are searching for something that's bigger than yourself. It reminds me of when the keeper first descended. You see, they didn't want to leave the village. No one does, usually. No keeper in the history has ever really wanted to go. That's what has made them so perfect for the task. And yet, I think that in venturing out, they were able to prove to themselves their place. And so perhaps you too are struggling with this. But
Then
feel free to tell me if after all, I've been here for some time and only seen the same people, so I could be far off.
But as she says this, I think a look passes between Presto and Twinkle of two people who feel seen to the point of maybe being exposed. Very seen. No, I think you might be right.
You've already helped us by getting rid of that. What did you say his name was again?
Timothy.
Timothy.
His name was
His
Timothy.
name was Timothy. Yes. So perhaps you shouldn't doubt yourself so readily. You clearly do both seem to want to help, even if you have, peculiar ways of doing so. But,
Some of us more than others, perhaps.
and yet, she says as she looks from Twinkle to you, you are both trying. It is not an easy thing to do in this world, to try. More difficult, even so, to face that you may fail. But I think it is worth it, what you are both doing. I think perhaps there is someone that you should meet. Someone who perhaps might act as a guide for you, but who may also need your assistance.
Would you
If
take
would
us?
like. Yes, yes. Come with me. And she takes you further into the village, into a little modest home. I think everything is dusted with snow up here. It's a little hut that has a little bit of smoke coming out of a chimney above it. And when you wander in, it's warm. There's earth tones all around you. It's very cozy. And there is a man in the bed who seems to be struggling just to be alive in this moment. He is completely swaddled. He's small. He's shriveled.
Is it time?
Yes.
Have the takers come for me now?
No. These are... Well, I hope they might be friends to us. They've already helped. I hope they might be able to take you up so that you can be reunited one last time. I know you've been waiting, but it is a long way to go, especially alone. And if you stay here, I can't say that the keepers won't arrive. They may be coming up this way to look for, to look. Perhaps, probably not, but I think it would be safer if you went with these new friends.
Oh, my daughter.
And he reaches out in a sort of wizened hand.
Would that I had your wisdom earlier than you have found so early in your life. Tell me, does my grandson still live atop the mountain?
I do not know, but I hope so every day. It's been so long since we've heard from him, she says to Presto and Twinkle as well. But perhaps this is the way for us to get word. Will
Yes.
you take my father up the mountain with you? He
Is
can
he
guide you.
Well,
No,
No.
he is not. But it doesn't serve him well to stay here any longer. There are those that would do harm to my father, and we've tried to keep him safe as long as we could.
and I think maybe as as we look down at the clasped hands there, we see a sigil on the hand of the old man, and this one is the kept shrine, the lantern. Ah, I see. Well, truth be told, I know not what you ask of us. I know not even your name, but we shall bring him up. And whatever happens there, we'll try.
Well, that's all that we can do. You may call me Auntie Mira, and hopefully this will not be the last that I see of you both. Thank you for taking my father with you. Please do your best to protect him if you can. And I think Twinkle takes the old man's hand and asks him what he needs, what she can do for him.
I heard of a tonic once, made of fairy magic and a song. Not to cure, but to sustain. Is there truth to that?
Well, I'm not supposed to talk about fey magic. It's something that I promised. But I haven't been with my people in a very long time.
Wait.
And so I suppose it doesn't hurt to
No.
reveal that, yes.
Wait.
No, it's
Wait.
true.
And now his voice is stronger than it was a moment ago, and a smile passes across his lips as he stands. All I needed was a reminder of secrets worth keeping. All I needed was one other person with something they were reluctant to give away. Mira, fetch my coat. And he stands, taller than you would have expected from seeing him prone on the bed. Yes, we will go. I think we must. His smile is tight-lipped and small, but not without sentiment behind it. Keep your fairy magic. Sometimes that's all you may have. Now, I want to say outside, as we proceed further up the mountain, it is getting colder and colder. And now we start to see these lampposts that look just like the sigils, one after another, becoming closer and closer until they begin to form a sort of fence.
Yeah.
Each lantern as its own post in a fence along a pretty precarious pass. I think as we wind up this mountain, it becomes tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Far below, we can see the town that we came from. And then beyond that, squinting in the very distance, there's a little purple smudge on the horizon that, if one had been there, one would know is a great crystal, capturing a small shrine. Far enough that it would be a long journey, but close enough to see. Hey, Twinkle. I just wanted to say that I don't know what we're going to find when we get up there, but I think this is the right thing to do. I think this is the good thing to do.
Do you think I'm a good person? Like, maybe I shouldn't be here with you.
Twinkle, there are all kinds of stories about people who kill and save.
Well, yeah, but it's one thing to kill and save, and it's another thing to do whatever it is that I do, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like, maybe I'm too dangerous, you know? I've already gotten us into a lot of trouble on this quest, and this isn't the first
You and me
time.
both.
Well, yeah, but it's different with you. You're not... Do I ever scare you?
Presto's a bad liar. And so there's a flicker across his face for a moment before he says, "No, I've always felt okay. Okay. Sometimes. Sometimes. There's a lot of fire in that little form of yours, and it can be frightening. And it can be a lot.
That's...
I believe that you could be anything you need to. But it's a lot.
I mean... That's why I'm not with the Fae anymore. You know? And I just think sometimes that I don't really belong anywhere, I guess. Maybe it would be better if I... Maybe it would be better after this if I went my own way.
I think I might know a place where you belong. And I think there's a little chest pocket on Presto's doublet, just the right size for a fairy who would maybe like to stop flying for a minute and just think and listen and look. Here. Rest your wings.
I'm sorry that I'm not always good at this stuff, says Twinkle as she gets into Presto's pocket. Thanks, Presto. I wish I could be there for you, like you're here for me.
Well, I think we can. And, well, I think we're about to find out. As we reach the crest of this last turn, the old man who's been leading, footsteps crunching in the snow, I
So
think,
resilient.
yeah, well, there's this inner strength that seems to have lit within him, and it seems like the way that you might get a second wind just before the crash. But he's marched up and up and up. And as we reach
I think
this...
as we're nearing that peak, we start to notice that, like, in the snow, there are these... Like, it's almost like the snow is starting to thin as we get to the peak. Like, it's weirdly warm at the top. And there are these little tufts of grass just every few feet. But all the blades are, like, the same length. Like, it's, like, a short with two long with a medium. a short, and so all of
Yeah.
the tufts look the same, and the bits of grass that are poking through start to become more frequent to the point that it's like everywhere you look, they're almost evenly spaced in between the snow that is now sparse.
Old man, what is this? But I don't think he's listening. No, I don't think he says anything. And we reach up and up and up. And there's a strange energy emanating from this tower. An energy that we would recognize as the same energy that once emanated from the shrine near my hometown, near the place where we would, if not witnessed, then saw the site of that great catastrophe. I think this tower rises like a mage's tower, tall and thin, and like it could see the whole world. This tower rises up off of the peak of the mountain. And within it, there is, I want to say a young man, like maybe an 18-year-old.
Okay.
Someone who would have maybe apprenticed if times were different, but is now handling this, and it is a little over their head.
Yes.
Um, I Presto turns to the old man, but the old man sits in a chair that looks like he's sat in it many times before, and looks long and far out over the landscape. Not quite catatonic, but just completely checked out. Are you the shrine keeper? Boy. Boy? Are you the shrine keeper of this place?
Well, it depends on who's asking. I could be
A friend?
a
You
friend.
could be.
I could be.
A friend of sorts.
I feel like although this boy is quite young, there is kind of something about him that feels as though he's also ancient at the same time. He's got this very young
Yes.
form, kind of an uncertain way of speaking, but there's like something beyond all of it.
It's unsettling the moment that you realize each time the boy speaks, the old man's lips just slightly move in turn. The same words sort of moving through both of them. This place is not as it seems. Is it?
It is as it seems, and also not as it seems. As I said, it depends on who is asking. What is it that you seek?
I'm going to use the move drop pretenses and speak frankly with someone.
Okay, I like that. Good choice.
We seek the restoration of the shrine, the Western Shrine. You see it from this window, encased in crystal. None came to help the shrine keepers there, and we have been sent by a grieving widow, a friend, to undo what was done. We're here seeking something, seeking resolution, seeking a fix. Members of an order we encountered were hostile. We were led up this mountain. We have barely an idea of what's going on. But we want to fix things.
And why is it that you want to fix things? Why not let
Well,
things as they are?
Well, and now with a little uncertainty, Presto turns to Twinkle. To save them, right?
Yeah, to save them. We came up here to save those people because it's well, I guess it's the right thing to do.
Who are you to say who should be saved and who should not? Who are you to look beyond a design and decide it is you who engraves it? Tell me now. If you would kill to reach this place, how different are you?
Well, no. I only kill people that I have to kill, people that get in my way. That's different. This was a freak accident. We don't know why this happened.
Some know. Some know why this happened. And I think there's a well,
Right.
a well of still water, and on its surface
Starts
we see
to-
ripples.
Yeah.
Up rises images. I think images in line with the cards that we saw in the blue bird inn. That same sort of symbology, that same sort of imagery. If one day were to get up and decide they could fix the world, and I think we see a gesture and the form of a king rises, abstract, chess-like. One decided that one could save the world. One decided to take great steps to do so. We see another figure rise from the water, this one a castle, and another a knight, and another a village. You would change whatever you needed to, just to make sure everything was safe, just to make sure everything was right, wouldn't you? The king figure points an arm, and the knight goes towards the village. The village is aflame. The knight walks back home with a proud stride and stands mechanically beside the king. Is that who you are? You would save something you don't even understand? You see a threat. What is a threat? What are you saving? You bring my grandfather here. Why?
He wanted to come. I think he wanted to see you. I thought one last time, but now I think maybe something else is happening. He walked with a kind of certainty, with a kind of sense of purpose. I think... Why do you want to stop us?
Stop you? You don't even know what you want to do. How am I to stop you? There are those who would stop me, and those like me. But you don't even know what these shrines are for, do you?
We know that one of our friends lost someone. And so we came at her behest. Well, I thought that was enough. I can't pretend to understand everything. I'm just one little fairy. But I don't think I should have to understand everything to try to do something right just because I've done bad things in my life. Well, it doesn't mean that I can't do good things too.
Well, now I think maybe you understand more than I thought. And at this point, you can see that surrounding this this chamber, there's books strewn across the room, open like they've been flipped through with a kind of fervor and
Right.
eagerness, desperation.
Right.
And the boy turns, looks towards the grandfather, and says, "Some people only know one thing. He knows to look at the Western Shrine. Wait for the symbol. Wait for the signal." That's all he did. He waited, and he looked, and he knew nothing else. I wanted to know everything.
What did you do?
His face twists into tears. Too much, maybe. I thought I could fix it. I thought the spell was right.
Well, it's okay. We can help you. Right, Presto? Which book was it?
I don't know how we can help this, Twinkle. He doesn't even know how to help himself.
Well, what do you mean? There's got to be some kind of way, right? I mean, what are we supposed to do here?
And then Presto looks out the window and thinks of the village down the mountain and stands up a little straighter and says, "Our best." The boy perks up and looks over. "My mother said that to you, didn't she?" Mother. Okay. Okay. Fine. Before it was just me. I didn't want anyone to come up here to try and fix it. I was going to fix it. But I made it worse. Maybe if we're all here. And a tiny little flame lights in the frozen crystal in the far west on that hillside that we came from a long time ago. The old man bolts upright. The signal. The signal is lit. I came, dog. What do we have to do? I'm just a musician. My companion is just a fairy.
Well, we're not just anything. I mean, we made it all the way up this mountain. I think we should give ourselves some credit. I mean, maybe we can help.
Okay. Maybe. But we need time.
Okay.
There's an old ritual. And then he looks at Twinkle. You know Fairy Circle?
Yeah.
Patterns. Circles and patterns. A ring of mushrooms. Grass that grows thick in the middle. That's this place. It's like that. It's not fairy magic, but a different kind. That's why grass grows here. That's why you feel that energy. Circles, patterns. Round and round you had to go to come up here, and I think if we just hold hands in our own circle, go round and round, I think eventually we could wind it back. I don't think we can undo this like you can rebuild a bridge, but I think we could undo this like stepping back into yesterday. Do you understand? It's a big spell with a lot of magic.
Yeah, I think I understand.
It's too late now. For the keepers, we're gone. It's just me. But if we could go back to before, then the takers wouldn't have done it yet. And you would know, and I would know. Maybe we could do something again. Do our best. Maybe not alone this time.
But who's to say that it won't go the same, that we haven't already done it before? How do we know?
Things can't go the same as they went the first time. Patterns are of nature, not of people.
The old man rasps out, standing across from the boy at this well.
And with enough energy, there's enough time.
There's a look that passes across the grandson's eyes of grief and understanding.
Okay. Presto, what do you think?
Have you heard of a round? Twinkle, have you heard of a round?
Mm-hmm.
A song.
Mm-hmm.
I start singing, and then the next sings, and the next sings, and the next sings. And it takes practice, but in time, there's a repetition. It's an old form of magic, says Presto, looking uncertainly at the boy who seems both very old and very young at the same time. But it could help, I think.
Okay. Well, I think we should try. It doesn't hurt to try.
It doesn't hurt to try. And I think I'm going to spend my last token to offer hidden knowledge about a person or place. I think as Presto begins to strum the notes of this song, there's a spot in this room that seems like exactly the right place to stand.
Mm-hmm.
Feet almost sink into the stone, it seems so right. And as Presto stands in that spot, a pillar rises across from him, across this well.
Mm-hmm.
The right height for someone to stand who is very small.
And I think that Twinkle moves over to the platform, kind of settles herself in a position.
And then Presto begins to strum. And as the three of our voices raise in song, it's not the first time that it happens. It's not the second, or the third, or the fourth. But hours later, trying and trying again to make this spell work, there's a snap. And suddenly, you're not in the place you were anymore. I think both of us fall into a dream. What does Twinkle see in her dream?
I think Twinkle sees Presto. I think Twinkle goes back to the time that he was by her bedside when she was really bad. Like, Twinkle may have not made it through this fight if Presto wasn't there to save her. It's one of the few times that she hasn't been able to straight up defeat an opponent. And we see her eyes are like lingering onto the axe on the ground that's covered in blood. A lot of it is actually her blood. She was pretty cut up. And she's laying in bed in a larger form to try to kind of keep herself together.
Yeah.
And she just locks eyes with Presto. And for a moment, he stops singing and everything hurts. And then he starts singing again as he holds her gaze. And then she wakes up. What about you? What do you see?
Presto sees immediately swimming visions of nights. Nights held in company. Nights with a strong drink and a good song. Nights, beautiful, rich nights. But that's a distraction. That's not why we're going backwards. Not to relive, but to live differently. Presto uses all of his focus that he can to shift gaze from that revelry to a focus. And in front of him forms the image of that shrine, distant on the hillside, ensconced in crystal. The flame grows and grows and grows, and then goes out. And it's just his eyelids. As we wake, we're sitting dazed, curb of the side of the hamlet that we started in. And that's funny. From the time of year, from the festival now occurring, this must be just about 1 year ago. It worked. I think it worked. We're back. Twinkle? Twinkle?
Yeah. How do
We
know
didn't.
if it worked?
Well, and then I think turning around behind us on the hillside is the shrine. Intact, looking just as it did before the crystal incident, which now, of course, we realize was already far too late. Something had happened, something much grander than either of us. But now, things are different. Now there's time. And down the street walks a familiar figure. A servant girl of sorts, but one might call her a secret seller. She walks up to the two of us, glances at the sun where it sits on the horizon, and says, "Just when I was expecting you." Nice to meet you. I'm Alora. And I think that might be the end
Yeah?
of our story. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, very interesting. This would be a good campaign.
It had to end campaignially, I felt like. I
I
felt like,
know, but it's like it kind of feels like its own adventure, doesn't it? Like a chapter in a book of
hmm
the Presto and Twinkle story. Like I
yeah.
feel like there's so much more you can explore with these characters, you know? That's all. It's really fun. This is really neat.
I wanted to leave that door open for you because I knew you wanted there to be more of them. Whether or not we can see it, it's nice if it exists in theory.
I hope I did an okay job. I feel like I made you GM more than I
I
did.
don't think so.
No? Did it?
You had some great quips
Okay.
and like paintings that you made of the world and how you portrayed people. I don't, did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. This
Me
was
too.
great. I feel like the one thing is it is like finding the story is this is one of those games that I really feel like if you have more, the more you build and the more time you have, like the more depth you can kind of give to the world.
For
So,
sure, yeah.
but I mean, you know, I also literally was like, I want to make a fairy that fights people, so that could be part of it. But I do think there was actually a lot of
That's
depth
the
with both of our
trope, isn't
characters. You
it?
know,
Yeah,
it's like our
yeah.
characters were very tropey, but like underneath the surface, there's like probably a lot more to those characters. That as you would go on
Yeah.
with them, it's like kind of unpacking. It's really interesting because it really is kind of about like unpacking like where do these tropes come from and like what is it really about?
What do they mean?
What does it
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. And so like we got a little bit of it, but it just makes me want like more of it because I'm just like, ooh, I could see so much that you could do. But it you need you know, time. Time is this is
Sure.
like a but
Yeah,
a
yeah.
taste, I feel, of what this RPG has to offer. Yeah, but it's super fun. Yeah, no, I loved it. I thought it was so great. I think it's so cool because it's so feel everything feels so limitless. Like it really feels like you can do anything. And you got some really strong guidelines to lean on. But also I felt like completely free in this story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool. I agree. I think the system could really take you a long way. It would be fun also to have other characters, of course, see what their relationships with the mains are like. It would be fun to
I
have
felt sad
all
killing
kinds of stuff.
Timothy the troll. I actually really liked Timothy the troll.
You know, it's tough. You folks probably can't see from your end of this screen, but the move set that Amanda was working with in terms of punctuation, those token moves, involves like a lot of violence. And that's the core of the character, right? So sometimes
Yeah.
it's funny, sometimes it's sad.
It's sad. It is sad. That's the thing. It's like that was the thing that I felt was kind of like almost limiting, but in a way that like makes you have to confront what's happening. So it's not really limiting because it kind of opens up your mind. So that's interesting because everything that I'm dealing with is violence. Like really it's like what are your
Yeah.
weak moves? They're violent and mean. What are your strong moves? They're violent and like maybe a little bit more noble, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more
That's the,
introspective, I would say, are the strong
yeah.
moves. So the strong moves are the things that like opens up the character, but you like constantly kind of have to get stuck in the cycle of violence in order for you to reflect. It's like the violence is the means to an end, but it's also the thing that makes you like really sad when you get to the revelation. So that is a cool thing about, you know, this character type, this class that I think is cool. But yeah. How did you
Yeah.
feel for you playing as like a bard? Like what did you
Oh, it was interesting because this
what did you
system didn't
learn?
just present there's a certain level of like fallibility that's baked into these character archetypes, right? And the fact that the
Yes.
bards is wanting to please, wanting to perform, wanting to be like a center of attention without thinking about what that means is really cool. Like it inverts, I think, some expectations of it. But then at the same time, just like with the fighter, those are the same tools that I have to get out of a problem, right? So it's kind of like
Yeah.
you're working with song and attention and sociality and how you interact with people in like a connection or a performance. It's the same, like it's whether you're using a hammer to build or a hammer to tear down. Um,
It's like the same thing that can get you out of it can also get you into a worse spot
yeah,
because when you are doing kind of everything from that place, it's interesting because my character is like all conflict, like my class type, and I feel like your character is all like trying to move through the conflict.
yeah, yeah, I think that's fair to
So
say. And of course, there's many other character types, right? Each
there
with their
are.
own,
So
yeah.
I really liked this. I thought it was really it's really really cool. Very cool game.
Yeah.
Also, thank you everyone for the kind words. Atomic Sorcery said you need a weekly newspaper comic clip. Yeah, of like Presto and Twinkle, like just each week, here's what they got up to. It would probably be pretty goofy and also probably sad. More Barbell than Tinkerbell. Oh my gosh.
Did enjoy that
I
as
love
well.
that. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for the kind words. I'm glad that it was engrossing. I'm glad that it was fun for people.
Us too.
It was super fun for me. I really like this. We need to bring Anthony into this and play this one again. I want to see what Anthony will also do with us. And I feel like
Speaking of that,
how many
Anthony
people can
will
you
be back next week.
play with this game? Like, what's the max that's recommended?
Good
Like,
question. I don't actually, I think it might have
5,
said 2 to 6 as
2
like
to
a
6.
broadest of scales, but
Yeah. Because I just feel like the more people you have, like, the crazier our world building could get.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's fair.
So that would be
Yeah, yeah,
cool. Still plays really well with 2, though. It becomes this, like... It is also interesting how much it became, I think, about, like, our characters' relationship, because we were the only ones
yeah,
that had ties to each other. So it was also a little bit about, like, why we stayed together and what we get out of the relationship with each other, which was kind of fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Good
Okay,
buddy
yeah,
cops vibe as well.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, now let's see. What, oh, right. Amanda, do you have anything you want to plug this week?
I have Lies Community Day Atomic. Like I did with my you mean with my community day that I'm gonna be doing like on stream. I would say for me, anything to plug my YouTube. I I just did a review for Weapons, the horror movie that just came out. So you can check that out. It was very weird. So, if you liked me being weird here, you might like my review of Weapons because Weapons is weird. So there you go. That's some kind of parallel. Uh, and yeah, you can find me on stream. I'll be streaming on Thursday. I'm going to be playing Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So if you want some more
Ooh,
game
that's
action.
great.
I know, I'm really excited. I previewed it a little bit at Fan Expo and it was so fun. And I haven't played the one
It's
for
so
Switch,
fun.
so this will be my first experience. And I love that I'm getting the Switch 2 experience as my first experience because it sounds like it's even better. So they really,
Ooh,
I
that's
think,
great.
added a lot of fun things in the new version. So,
I borrowed it from the library like 2 years ago,
oh,
maybe.
nice.
It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good.
Yeah, I've only
Yeah.
heard the best things, and apparently the new version is like somehow even more amazing. And the first version I know was really good, so I'm excited.
Sick.
So I'll be doing that on Thursday. I think I'm going to be going live around like 2 p.m. EST, so come by for that on my channel, which is twitch.tv/Vampex13. I will put our links in the chat for you guys. What about you, Kurt? What do you have going on?
I am, of course, back here next week with Amanda and
And
Anthony for
Anthony?
the reunion of our trio. We are going to be playing a game that I'm excited about, but I won't spoil it at all for you folks.
Ooh, stay
It will
tuned.
involve flowers. Flowers.
Flowers!
Um, Outside of that, I recently celebrated the 5-year anniversary of making games and putting them online. So not only can you find a vast host of games at my link that's just in the chat now, many of them free. There are 8 free games on my game page. You can also find a crossword that I made just for anybody who likes my stuff or likes RPGs or anything like that. And in this crossword, not only is there a goofy little treat of sorts, there's also a secret, a big secret that you can find if
Ooh.
you are industrious. And if you can't manage to solve the super secret, feel free to pop into my own Discord and ask and check out the community's discussion there where they have gotten to the bottom of things. I won't say any more. Not going to spoil it for anybody who does want to do the crossword all themselves. But yeah, you can find the newsletter at the link that I put in both the Twitch and YouTube chats. That is the Turning 5 article, which has a link to the crossword. That's about it from me. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
and
much.
Atomic, I love your comment just being like, I just like the idea of playing games together because it always feels like the best part of going to a convention. Yeah, I feel like I don't know if we'll have necessarily like a community day like I'm gonna have, because I'm gonna do a 21-hour stream as like a thanks. But I feel like yeah, community day for Lies where we could all play a game together of some kind. I feel like we could maybe find something that's a little bit even more interactive that might be kind of cool. I've wanted to do something like that, so we'll have to see what we could potentially do. But maybe there's something where we could play something with stream. I feel like that would be super fun. Yeah. Definitely we'll be back next week on Monday, so make sure you tune in and check it out. And yeah, join us. And Anthony will be back. And I know everyone's probably been like, enough of these people. Like, where's Anthony at?
Get him out of here. Where's
the real
that?
star
Where's
of the
that boy?
show. Yeah, so he'll be back next week. And I'm excited to play again. So thank you so much for joining me, Kurt. And thank you for bringing this lovely game to my attention. It was truly delightful. And I cannot wait to play again. I know I say that a lot, but I really mean, I really would like to do a campaign of this at some point if we feel so inclined. I'd love to see how expansive the world could be, because I just feel like it's so rich, everything you could build in this. It's such strong building blocks. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
And thank you everyone for your support. Should we raid someone?
Hime Utsugi is live once more. I will. They are a streamer playing an RPG tonight, a tabletop RPG. It looks like it is Choir of the Flesh.
Choir of the Flesh.
Choir of the Flesh. I don't know much about this one, but Hime is the one who is currently playing through a campaign of The Hourglass Sings, which is one of my games.
Yes.
I'll link that in the chat for you, Amanda, if that's of interest. Otherwise, if you've got somebody in mind, feel free to link them.
No, I'm good with that. I need to follow them. I don't think we're following them yet on Lies. Yes, give me their information so we can follow them. Did you put it into the...
I put it into the Discord chat. The straight up... Sorry, not Discord chat. Nope, the Twitch chat.
The Twitch chat. The Twitch chat. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me follow them, and then we can totally raid them. That would be awesome. The Flesh.
Here is
we are
something
following
that you
them.
could
For some
write.
reason, they didn't come up when I was looking at live channels. I don't know. But we are following them. So that's bizarre.
Well, what a mystery.
That is a mystery. But yes, let us raid.
Incoming indeed, sorcery. Okay, folks, thanks so much once more for coming to join us today, and we will see you next week.
We will see you next week. Sorry, I have to do it here because I'm not logged in over there, and I don't know if I need to verify as well over there. So we'll set it up in the Twitch chat. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching the VOD. If you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, we appreciate you. We don't have any pre-made messages, I think. I should really log into Nightbot tonight and make raid messages for us. And then it will be done.
Wow.
But this is a message for now, and you may copy and paste it and take it with you as a little badge of honor into our raid. Let's go, I guess.
Let's go.
All right. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
We are raiding. We are raiding. We
We
raided.
are raiding. We
Those
are
of you that are watching
raiding.
it on YouTube, you're still seeing us. We raided, I think. I think we did it.